Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we're bringing you a recap of the latest developments in global news. Tensions are escalating with Iran as U.S. President Trump urges Tehran to give up, while Iranian officials mock his strategy. We'll also explore a potential humanitarian corridor through the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route threatened by the conflict. Additionally, Trump's talks with Putin and North Korea's human rights record will be discussed, as well as a surprise boost in U.S. energy exports. Let's dive into these stories and more. As tensions escalate in the Middle East over Iran's nuclear program, a heated exchange has emerged between U.S. President Donald Trump and Tehran's top leader. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is a special report. The tensions between Iran and the U.S. are escalating, with President Donald Trump calling on Tehran to give up its nuclear ambitions. The U.S. has been imposing economic pressure on Iran, including a blockade of oil exports, in an attempt to force the country to abandon its nuclear program. However, Iranian Speaker of Parliament Ali Ghalibaf has ridiculed this strategy, saying it is ineffective and will only lead to more instability in the region. Meanwhile, tensions are also rising at sea, with the U.S. Navy continuing its patrols in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping lane that connects the Gulf to the rest of the world. The standoff has led to a surge in oil prices, which have risen by over 10% in recent days. This is largely due to concerns about the potential for conflict between Iran and the U.S., as well as supply chain disruptions caused by the blockade. The situation is complex and sensitive, with multiple countries and interests at play. However, one thing is clear. The fate of the Iran nuclear deal hangs in the balance, and the consequences of a collapse could be catastrophic. President Trump's comments on Iranian nuclear ambitions have been widely criticized as reckless and premature, while supporters argue that they are necessary to prevent a potential nuclear threat. The world waits with bated breath for any developments in this rapidly evolving crisis. In a move that further strains already tense relations, President Trump has rejected an offer by Iranian officials to open the Strait of Hormuz until nuclear concerns are addressed. In a move that has sparked concern across the Middle East, U.S. President Donald Trump has rejected an Iranian proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz until Tehran's nuclear program is addressed. According to Axios, Trump was told by Iranian officials that they are seeking an agreement to lift the U.S. blockade on this strategically important waterway, but the president dismissed the offer, opting instead to maintain a naval blockade to pressure Iran. Trump claimed that the blockade has been highly effective in choking Iran's economy, stating, "They are choking," and insisted that his primary goal remains preventing Tehran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. However, sources have revealed that U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, has developed plans for a limited military strike if Iran fails to yield, citing concerns about its nuclear program. The situation is complex and delicate, with the Strait of Hormuz being a critical waterway for global oil supplies. The blockade, imposed by the U.S. in 2019, has had significant economic implications for Iran, which was forced to reduce oil exports. Trump views the blockade as a powerful tool to pressure Iran, but critics argue that it is also fueling regional instability and tensions. The decision by Trump to reject the Iranian proposal marks a significant escalation in the ongoing tensions between Washington and Tehran. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the fate of the Strait of Hormuz and the future of the region's energy security hangs in the balance. The international community remains anxiously watching developments, as the world waits with bated breath for a resolution to this critical crisis. As tensions escalate in the region, the international community is now turning to a dire solution: establishing a humanitarian corridor through the Strait of Hormuz. Soaring oil prices and the blockade are preventing food, fuel, and medicine being delivered to millions of people in desperate need. The volatility of global oil prices caused by the U.S. and Israel's war on Iran is taking a toll on the most vulnerable people, slowing or blocking aid from reaching them. The International Rescue Committee, IRC, has been affected, with $130,000 worth of supplies stuck in Dubai that are needed by 20,000 people in Sudan. In Nigeria and Ethiopia, government oil rations meant the emergency relief body had to limit generator use in its health clinics, with some hospitals having to close off electricity due to fuel shortages. Aid agencies are burning through budgets rapidly, as it is more expensive to buy fuel to run operations, move commodities, and personnel around many countries in sub-Saharan Africa. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies has also been impacted, with Cecile Terra stating that the increase in oil prices is affecting the lives of people and its own operations. The conflict began in February, with oil prices fluctuating wildly as the US and Iran took turns at closing and blockading the Strait of Hormuz shipping channel. The 5 km wide strait is a critical waterway for global oil supplies, and limiting cargo ships passing through it has significant implications for the global economy. The situation matters because millions of people are being affected by the blockade, with food, fuel, and medicine in short supply. The humanitarian crisis is only worsening as aid agencies struggle to deliver vital supplies. A humanitarian corridor through the Strait of Hormuz could provide a lifeline for those in need, but it requires serious and immediate action from governments and international organizations. As tensions escalate in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, key leaders from the United States and Russia engaged in a high-stakes conversation last night. Good evening, and welcome to our news recap. Tonight, we're tracking major developments from the world of politics and international relations. In a significant phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed the ongoing conflicts in Iran and Ukraine. According to Kremlin advisor Yuri Ushakov, the conversation lasted over an hour and a half, with Putin warning Trump of dire consequences for both countries if force is used again. The Iranian conflict has been escalating since January 8th, when a U.S. drone strike killed top Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. The U.S. and Iran have been engaged in a series of missile strikes and reprisals since then. Meanwhile, the situation in Ukraine remains volatile, with ongoing fighting between Ukrainian government forces and Russian-backed separatists. In his conversation with Putin, Trump said that the U.S. was going to come up with a solution relatively quickly regarding its conflict with Iran. He also stated that the U.S. is having talks with Iran, but emphasized that any deal would require Tehran to abandon its nuclear ambitions. Trump also suggested that the wars in Iran and Ukraine could end on a similar timetable. Putin reportedly offered to help remove enriched uranium from Iran, which has been a major point of contention in the conflict. The offer could potentially ease tensions between the two countries. As the situation in both regions continues to unfold, it remains to be seen how these developments will play out. As tensions with the U.S. and South Korea escalate, experts weigh in on whether North Korea's human rights record is a vital aspect of regional security. At a ceremony in Pyongyang on April 27th, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov unveiled a memorial honoring North Koreans killed fighting in the Ukraine war. Moscow thanked Pyongyang for sending troops, while Kim praised North Korean soldiers who took their own lives rather than be taken prisoner. It has been estimated that 15,000 North Korean personnel were deployed to help Russia recapture territory in Kursk, with over 6,000 reportedly killed. This development marks a significant shift in the dynamics of the North Korean problem. Pyongyang is no longer viewed as an isolated dictatorship on the margins of the international system. Instead, it has become increasingly integrated into a hostile network linking China, Russia, and North Korea. This alignment has far-reaching consequences for regional stability, particularly for South Korea, Japan, and U.S. allies. The involvement of North Korean troops in the Ukraine war is also significant because it highlights Pyongyang's willingness to export its manpower and gain battlefield experience. This, in turn, earns North Korea political leverage and deepens military cooperation with a revisionist power engaged in a major European conflict. The consequences of this alignment are multifaceted. North Korea's integration into the Russia-China axis complicates the traditional South Korean and U.S. strategy of containing Pyongyang through economic pressure and military deterrence. It also raises questions about the effectiveness of UN sanctions, which have failed to curb North Korea's nuclear ambitions. Furthermore, the involvement of a major European power like Russia in North Korean affairs could lead to unintended consequences, including increased tensions between North and South Korea. As General Xavier Brunson noted, the connectivity across those three nations is something that we can't believe. It is essential for policymakers to acknowledge this reality and reassess their approach to addressing the North Korean challenge. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. We'll keep you updated on the latest developments in international relations. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of global events. Stay informed, stay ahead. Until next time, good night.